All right, we going live. All right, go ahead, clap it up. All right, shalom. Yahweh Shem Thumb to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Thumb, Shem shout out to all the sisters. The water for all the brothers and sisters making it out coming. All those is watching online as well. The water for your participation. You understand, tonight we're going to open up the Feast of Purim. Everybody understand. So once again, the water for all the sisters as well. Give the sisters a hand for bringing the food. The brothers a hand for bringing the food. Anybody who contributed, go ahead and give yourselves a hand. You understand? Everybody looking mighty glorious. All right. Salakia. I'm going to give you about a couple more seconds. Let everybody keep trickling in online and in the physical class. I'm going to give you a couple of more seconds. All right. Go ahead and ask your questions now, because I know everybody don't know what the Feast of Purim is even about. I see we got a new brother in here. You understand? A young man. Get a young man a hand for muscling up, showing up to class. The best day to come to class on the opening of the High Holy Day. You understand? Most High in Christ. Our culture, our tradition. And tonight you're going to learn just the reason why it's such a hardcore High Holy Day that we're keeping this evening. You understand? Tonight is the opening of the Feast of Purim. Tonight we're going to go over just what that's about. The history. If you have any questions, you feel free to ask. You understand? All right? I'm letting everyone online, everyone in class, give you a second to trickle in. All right? Before we officially get started. Okay? Get you some water. Get your notebooks ready. Get your pen, your pad, everything ready. All right. I'm checking online to make sure we're looking good everywhere. Once again, if you have questions, make sure tonight is the night to ask all your questions. Try to keep your questions on the Feast of Purim, but of course, if your questions are not on the Feast of Purim, you can ask questions about any topic. Okay? This is still a class. That one already has one.
Oh, I didn't even know.
It's this one that needs one.
You want both of them?
Baba Kusha.
Kind to kind.
Okay. I'll give you a couple more minutes. What I'm doing now, I'm letting all the brothers and sisters online log in. Remember, when you watch online, say you're not physically able to come to class and you watch from online, make sure you sign in. There's a sign-in link on the comment section of every class we post. Make sure you sign in if you have not earned your Hebrew name already. All right, make sure you go to that link, you click that link, and you sign in so you can get your time credited for your Hebrew name. All right? Elisha, did you already like this one?
It went out. I probably did.
It went out.
All right, so make sure everybody. Okay, go on. And then fix the sensor. It's wild. Okay, let me give you a couple more minutes because I'm getting this link up now. All right, remember, tonight is the Feast of Purim. Okay, so we're coming out of what book should we be reading out of this evening because we're opening up the Feast of Purim?
The book of Esther. Salakia. The book of Esther.
The book of Esther. So everybody go to the book of Esther. All right? All right, go to the book of Esther. Start at chapter 3. We're going to start at chapter 3, verse 1. Don't read just yet, but just hold chapter 3, Esther chapter 3, verse 1. All right. Okay, that attendance link is up. So you brothers and sisters, make sure y'all are signing in and get that time. You want to earn your Hebrew name like a hardcore brother and sister that we're going to be reading about tonight. You want to earn that Hebrew name like Esther and Mordecai, you understand? Then you have to do your time here, your 90 days in the Isupk. Everybody understand? You want to be somewhere. This is the truth. This is the home of the truth. For everybody wondering, this is the home of the truth. One of the founding heads of the Isupk recently passed away this week, Chief Head Priest Ariah.
Right.
You understand? And the foundation that he set is what we are now standing on. Everybody understand? All of the hard work that he put in for this school to maintain its tradition. The traditions that you see right in front of me are the traditions that's been in the Isupk since 1969. And one of the brothers who were pivotal in this tradition, in the Lashawan Kodash, and finding out our true history, our culture, the 12 tribes chart, was Chief Head Priest Ariah. Everybody understand who 12 Shield General Mahaiman named his oldest son after, in honor and respect in regard to Chief Head Priest Ariah. You understand? And these are things that you learn as you come into the truth. You understand? Anybody outside of the Isupk is not in the truth. Okay? If you're in the church, you're not in the truth. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, Salakia. Looking good. Okay. So anybody outside the Isupk is not in the truth. You understand? Just like during the time of Mordecai and Esther. If you didn't follow Mordecai, you wasn't in the truth. During the time of Joshua, if you didn't follow Joshua, you was not in the truth. If you didn't follow Moses or Mashah, you were not in the truth. It's the same today. There's nothing that's changed. You understand? There is a man that the Most High God has set up over the nation of Israel, over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And if you do not follow him, then you are not in the truth. I don't know why this one keeps going out. This one? Did you light it again?
It's lit. It's just like real slow. I don't know what.
Okay, ain't no sweat. Ain't no sweat.
You see?
It's lit. Okay, no sweat. You too wild.
But yeah, I don't know what to do. Maybe just a bad cold is what I'm thinking.
Well, then try to change it. You can be careful, it's hot out. Make sure you put it out with some water. You want to use my water bottle? Put it out with a little water and then just change it in about 5 minutes. Change it. You don't have to change it right now. All right. Next time I like y'all take it to the back and do it. That way you don't block the class. All right. And then take this briquette with you.
I'm gonna leave that there because I'm gonna use it.
Oh, that's right. Well, here, take it back with you because light it back there. Don't light it up here.
You want to light it up here?
When you light it back there, then bring it up here. All right. The water out. All right. That's a tradition. The censers, you understand, with the frankincense and myrrh. That's a tradition that is from the Most High God. That's not a tradition of man. What you learn in the world is from the traditions of men. Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter, something that I think is coming up. In the next month, I think Easter is coming up. You understand? Does anybody know the origin of Easter? You know, brother? Young man, you know what Easter? Do you celebrate Easter? No. Okay, did you ever celebrate Easter? No. Most High Christ, get a brother a hand. Damn right, hardcore. So Easter is a celebration of a pagan god. Easter in the Bible is the Passover, which we're going to celebrate all of us April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. You understand? That's the Passover. But Easter, the world made Easter into Ishtar, which is one of the gods of who we're going to read about right now. You understand? The Assyrians and I know there were the Assyrians' god. Ishtar was the Assyrians' god, but probably the Greeks and Romans too. Yeah, that was a fertility goddess, which is where the eggs come from. Bunnies don't lay eggs. If you ever wanted to know where the eggs of the Easter bunny comes from, it's from Ishtar, the fertility god of Greece and Rome and Assyria. Right. They all share many gods. You understand? We have one God, one power. You understand, in the Isupk and in the nation of Israel. That's our culture. That's our custom. Everybody understand? So first go to Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. We're going to get this history of the Feast of Purim right now. All right?
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman. Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hamadit. Salakia.
Take your time, Mark. Go ahead.
Hamadid. Salakia. Hamadid. Salakia. I can't get that name.
Where you at?
Right there, the third.
Hamadatha.
Hamadatha.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Read it again from the top.
Okay. After Salakia, chapter 3.
Brother, you got a Bible? Do you need one? I'll take one. Yeah, get his brother this Bible right here, Quinaya. No, you sit down. Like the brother gonna hand you the Bible, okay? I got you, Quinaya. You ain't got a phone, not? or Esther. We're in the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. But do you have a phone?
Yeah, I got a phone.
If you got the Bible app, you can download the Bible app on the phone.
Any book you want to look from?
The table of contents. Tense.
Look for the book of Esther.
All right.
ESTHER.
Go ahead, Cornelia. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Kamakai.
Shalom.
The book
sis.
of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
Does anybody know who? First of all, let's start from King Ahasuerus. All right, he promoted Haman. Anybody know who Haman is? Shalom, sis. Shalom, sisters. Everybody who just walked in, shalom. Does anyone know who Haman is? Cornelia, Shamar. You, Salaki, not Cornelia. Elisha, you're going to have to set up some more seats for the sisters.
I'm getting on.
Go ahead, you two out.
Micah.
Okay. So,
take our seats with
yeah, that's fine. If you got to take from the men's side, it's Tawab. All right. So we're at Esther. For everyone who just walked in, we're in the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. We're going to start with Haman. Anybody know who Haman was? Anybody? All right. Anyone who know who Haman is? Anybody study or read? Officers. Who was Haman?
I'm not sure.
Elisha. Who was Haman?
Haman, was that Esther uncle?
La'ah.
No, Haman was the brother Salakia. It's right on the tip of the tongue. He was actually wasn't he coming against Esther and her uncle? He was trying to stop the Lord's work.
Get a brother a hand. Get a brother a hand. Like, you have to study in here. This is a school, which is why I told you, get a Bible, read. We following along. I know in the church, they don't do this. The church, they sing and they dance. You understand? They make a big spectacle of themselves. They don't learn anything in the church. If you was to ask them what the Feast of Purim is, they wouldn't know. Everyone understand? You understand? Like, they don't know what anything is in the Bible because they don't read it. You understand? Like, we read the Bible and we study it and we go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So we learn these things and we know our history. Like, black people love saying they know their history, but couldn't tell you who Haman is, who Mordecai is, or Maradakia in the Hebrew. You understand? Or Esther or Hadassah in the Hebrew. They couldn't tell you the history of those brothers and sisters, but they could tell you the history of Christmas. They can tell you what Thanksgiving means to them. They can tell you what they're thankful for every fourth Thursday of November. But they don't know Purim. When Purim is in the Bible and Thanksgiving is not. You understand? Like, this is the truth. This is the truth. You understand? So what the brother is reading, we're going over Haman, Ahasuerus, which was the king at this time, and he promoted an evil, disgusting, wicked bastard named Haman, who was just a heathen who absolutely hated the Jews. You understand? Like, you know the Jews are black. The Jews are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You're looking at the Jews right now. You understand? Like, you're a Jew. What's your father? Is your father a so-called African American? Mm-hmm. Is his father a so-called African American? Is his father black, so-called African American? Yeah. Well, you're a Jew according to the Bible. You're from the tribe of Judah. You understand? Yeah. So was Esther, and so was Mordecai or Maradakia. Those are two Jews, brother. Mordecai looked just like you are, a black man from the tribe of Judah like you. You understand? And you don't learn this in the church, but you're learning it here tonight, that you are the real Jews according to the Bible. You understand? This brother, or this heathen Haman, was absolutely against our people 3,000 years ago. Just like Donald Trump. You know who Donald Trump is, don't you? Y'all know who Donald Trump is? What do you remember the most about Donald Trump? So like I said again, raise your hand next time, sis. Go ahead.
He white.
He's an oppressor. Get a sister hand. Well, what else is it that everyone that is black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, what he is infamous for in our eyes? What is Donald Trump infamous for in our eyes? Go ahead, brother.
That wall stuff.
What did the wall do?
Trying to keep us out.
Try to keep who out?
Us. Everybody.
Get a brother a hand.
Black,
Get a brother a hand. So he was against. You had something you wanted to say in the back, sis?
Oh, I was going to say he's known for being racist.
He's get a sister a hand. He's known for being racist.
Right.
Against who? Against everybody?
No, not everybody.
Against who?
Blacks, Native Americans, and Mexicans.
Against so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Get a brother another hand. Like, this is Haman in the Bible. Donald Trump, an oppressor who tried his best to oppress the children of God. Just like Pharaoh in Egypt, just like Donald Trump in 2020 tried to oppress God's chosen people. You understand? And so there, of course, has to be some there, of course, has to be some resistance against the oppression of your people. It was a sister we interviewed yesterday, me and Elisha. Or I'm sorry, it was a brother we interviewed yesterday. And this brother, he was he had his own, shoe company, Elisha. He had his own shoe company and clothing company. And the brother, we asked him the question about good leadership. And we said, well, we don't have good leadership, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And the brother said, well, what are the traits of a good leader? Brother, tonight I wish he was watching this class, because tonight you're going to read the traits of a good leader. You're going to read the traits about what a good leader is and the role of a good sister. You're a brother who probably at the age of dating sisters, you can date a sister. You see black and Hispanic women, you say, damn, I like this sister. You have to look at the traits that makes up a good black woman. There's women out there. There's tons of sisters out there, but all of them aren't good women. You understand? All of them aren't good sisters. Go ask any NBA player who's on child support. Go ask that, what's his name, Dr. Dre, who's paying $350,000 a month in alimony and child support. Like, it's good. It's women out there, but that don't mean they all good women. This sister Esther was a good woman. That brother Mordecai, that was a good leader for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's a good trait of a good leader. We're going to read about it tonight. So Haman was a disgusting bastard like Donald Trump who was absolutely against God's people. He was absolutely against the Jews. You understand? Keep going, Cornaya.
Verse 2. And all the kings...
No. Start from Haman, the son of Hamadatha.
Okay, Salakia. Haman, the son of Hamadatha, the Agagite. Agagites.
Who are the Agagites? Anybody know who the Agagites are? Anyone online, no? Let me look online to see if anybody's trying to give it a guess online. Who are the Agagites? Anybody know who the Agagites were? Salaki. Okay, anybody want to give it a try? You understand? Before I give you the answer, anybody want to try to guess who the Agagites are? Like, these things here are very important to your history to know, because guess what? The Agagites are still around today, and we don't even know who the Agagites are. Whether the Agagites are enemies or whether the Agagites are friends. Were they our allies? Does anybody know? Anybody know who the Agagites are? All right, no sweat. The Agagites are who King Saul was ordered to unalive during the time of David. They were who?
Enemies.
They were our enemies. Do you know who King Saul was ordered to unalive then? This y'all should know. King Saul was ordered to unalive a race of people and all of what inhabited their land.
The Philistines?
Make sure you raise your hand next time. No, not the Philistines. He wasn't ordered to unalive the entire race of people and then left and spared their king. Think about your biblical history. Let's see who reads the Bible in here. The Agagites are the descendants of the Amalekites. Everybody understand? You know who the Amalekites are, don't you? Who is Amalek? They just silenced what's the cat's name that plays basketball? They just silenced Kyrie Irving. Get a brother hand. They silenced Kyrie Irving. They silenced Kanye West. The Amalekites are the people who silences you when you speak out against them. What race of people are they? The Jewish people. That's Amalek. Amalek in the Bible are the so-called Jewish man who silenced Kyrie Irving for telling the truth, who silenced Kanye West for telling the truth. That is who Amalekites or the Amalekites are. Those people, the Agagites that this brother's reading about in Esther, who ruled over us, those were the people King Saul was ordered to unalive during the time when King David was alive. Like, there was an order. Remember, King Saul was over the nation of Israel. He was the first king over the nation of Israel. And the Most High God gave Saul an order to unalive everyone from the nation of Amalek. Because as we were coming out of Egypt, Amalek slaughtered our hind parts and the elderly and the sick. And the Lord told Saul, man, don't forget about what he did, what Amalek and the king Agag did to our people coming out of Egypt. So he told them to go and get justice, something we don't even know what it looks like. We don't know what justice looks like now. We think justice is praying and marching in the streets with signs. Elisha, what did they tell us yesterday? Justice was financial literacy. That was the answer of every black person we interviewed yesterday.
Education.
In education. Education and financial literacy is our justice, and that's now. That's what justice is to us. That's not justice, young man. That's not justice, sis. Justice is the Most High God telling you to go and unalive the people who oppress you. Of course, the Lord ain't going to tell you to do that now, but when Christ returns, there's going to be a lot of unaliving of people who've oppressed God's chosen people.
That's right.
You everybody understand? And that's what King Saul was ordered to do. Well, guess what? King Saul went down there to Amalek, and King Saul spared the king, and he spared the animals. The Most High God said, don't leave anything, unalive everything in the nation of Amalek. Now, does that sound like a God that loves everything? Does that sound like a God that loves everybody? Then how come in church, the church tells you God loves everybody? The Lord told Saul to unalive everything, to go exterminate everything in an entire land, in the entire village, exterminate them all. Because now, when Esther comes, guess what? Now you don't have the descendants of the Amalekites, which are the Agagites. Everybody understand? Now everyone should know who the Agagites are. You understand? Keep going.
And advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. Verse 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gates bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him.
Now you hear that? Read that part again, Kunaya.
For the king had so commanded us concerning him.
No, read the entire second verse.
And all the Salakia, verse 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman.
Now you hear that? They bowed and they reverenced Haman. They bowed and they reverenced Haman because the king ordered them to. You understand? Now why would the king... The thing about this, Haman was a man who absolutely hated so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Everybody understand that part, right? You follow me on that part. Everybody knows that Haman, during this time, he was like Donald Trump. He absolutely despised us. Why would a king tell the nation and make an ordinance, which is a law? Why would he make a law for the entire nation to bow down and worship this man?
Salaki.
Go ahead.
He knew he wouldn't do it willingly.
So like I said again?
He knew he wouldn't do it willingly.
No, it's deeper than that. It's much deeper than that. Why? Okay, today, take it to today. Right? Donald Trump, who was the president of the United States of America, everyone knew he hated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Imagine there was a man who was over Donald Trump. Let's say Donald Trump was the vice president. And the president made a decree that told all Americans, anytime Donald Trump walks around you, make sure you bow at his feet. Make sure you bow at him. Make sure you bow. That's what the decree was that you just read, right? You had to bow down and worship this man who hated you. Why did he make that a decree? Why did he make that a law? Go ahead, sis.
So they can go against their God.
That's true, but it's deeper than even that, right? Remember, okay, I didn't mention God. This don't even say anything about God. This says that Haman hated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He hated the Jews. There was a decree that King Ahasuerus put out to the people that said every time he's around, you have to bow to him. Why is that? Go ahead.
To put us in submission.
Okay, break it down. Go further on down the road.
To further oppress us, to make us, for lack of better words, I guess. I don't want to say kiss his tail, but
What did Donald Trump? What did Donald Trump? This is something you'll understand, because we all suffer from this, being blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What is something that Donald Trump said specifically about us when he was running for office? Not when he got in office, but when he was running for office, there was something that Donald Trump called us. Anybody remember what Donald Trump said?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
I believe, I can't even exactly remember what Donald Trump said, but basically he said something about around the lines that like he was our last hope.
What did he say?
I can't remember.
Now I got to give it to you.
Said.
Donald Trump demeaned blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in our face. Not only did he tell black people at a black congressional rally that what in the hell do you have to lose, he called Mexicans what? Rapists. Bad hombres. Ain't that what he said about the tribe of La Raza, the Issachaриtes? That's what he said. You're bad hombres. You're rapists. There's nothing but bad people coming across the border. Mexico isn't sending their best. Mexico is sending what? Their worst. They're sending their criminals. They're sending their rapists. That's what he said. That's on record. And then he called Haiti what? A shithole country. Excuse my French. That's what he said. Now, did he talk that way about the Africans? Did he talk that way about the Jewish man? Did he speak that way about the Germans? Did he speak that way about any other race of people? Okay, so now, Haman, there's an order that everybody has to bow down to this man, knowing that this man hates you like Donald Trump. Why is that?
Because
Go ahead.
they hate you. I mean,
No. Because you have low self-esteem. You bow to someone who hates you. What is that saying about you? That's lowering your self-esteem even more. Imagine a woman. Sisters will understand this. There's a man who violated you as a little girl. There's a man who violated you as a little boy. Now, every time you go around him on Thanksgiving, grandmother makes you serve him food and sit across the table from him. What does that do to you as a little girl? What does that do to you as a little boy?
destroy you.
It does what?
Destroy you.
Say it again.
Destroy you.
Get a brother a hand. That's why we were made to bow to this man, because it destroys you even more. Now, what won't you do? You already know this man that rules over you hates you. You know this man that rules over you, you have to bow to him every time you see him, every time he comes around. Brother, that's going to do something to you that we understand too well. It's going to destroy you. You're going to have low self-esteem. You're going to suffer from it like we do now, from being slaves in America. That's what this king's decree was. That's why he said to bow to this man, because he was such King Ahasuerus, or Ahasuerus was such a evil, wicked bastard, just like Haman. Which is why he put him in charge. Why else would he put him in charge? If he loved black people, then he wouldn't put a man that hates them over them. Right. You understand? Keep going.
For the king had commanded concerning him, but Mordecai bowed not.
He did what?
Bowed not.
You see that, brother? Now, this is what I was telling you about the reflection of a good leader. This is a brother who is a good leader. You understand? This is a brother who had traits he had the traits that your pastor doesn't have. Mordecai had the traits that your reverend and your politician and your president and your governor and your city councilman don't have. Listen, right here in Kansas City, Northeast, over there by Northeast High School, the Northeast District, you understand, where all of those on one side where a lot of blacks and Latinos live, because on the other side is what Independence Avenue. On the side that all of those historic buildings that black people historically lived in, they're evicting all of those people out of those buildings. They're kicking them all out. God. And if you look out over there Northeast where those people live, it looks like it's abandoned already. It looks horrible. It's sad. It makes you hysterical. Like where blacks and Hispanics live, it looks like it needs to be boarded up today. Everybody understand? It looks horrible. Well, guess who's responsible for those black people over there Northeast? Guess who's responsible for them?
So like some devil, bro.
Well, okay, go deeper than that, though. Who's responsible for them? Go ahead. Politicians. Get his brother a hand, man. He's focused. He's tuned in. He's locked in. Specifically, what politician?
Your mayors, senators, all that.
City councilmen.
Oh, that's true.
There are city councilmen that are literally set up over a district. You understand? Over there Northeast is what, District 5? Or was it District 4, Elisha? District 4? District 4. This brother was right, too. Some oppressor is the district council over District 4, where Northeast is every black person is getting kicked out of their homes. Well, I wonder why that is. Why is that? Was he made, or she, because it's two, it's a man and a woman, because it's a district at large. It's a city councilman district at large, and then it's a councilman, just the city councilman. So why is it two oppressors or two unrighteous people? Because the race really don't matter. You understand? The race don't matter at all. So why are two unrighteous men and women over God's chosen people? Same brother.
I feel like it's because where me and mom live, it's a historically black neighborhood, and it's a bunch of white people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's because anytime we build anything up, they want to take it, because as soon as we start coming together, that shows power against them, and they know if we come together, they really can't do anything about it. Like look at Black Wall Street
Mhm.
and all that type of stuff.
Get a brother a hand,
burned
man.
it to the ground.
Get a brother a hand. You said they did what to Black Wall Street?
They burned it to the ground.
They did what?
They burned it to the ground.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why there are white people or unrighteous people over a black district. That's why. Because anytime, say it again.
If we come together and gain power, there's nothing they can do about it.
If we come together, I get a brother a hand. I'll give you one better. If we come together under the Bible, if we come together in the truth, there's nothing they can do about it. Now, why do I say if we come together under the Bible? You know the answer.
Because we have to do it the right way.
Okay, we have to do it the right way. But why? How come we can't come together outside of the truth? You know the answer because you just said the answer.
Because it's been done before and it didn't work. We're still in the same position.
Why didn't it work?
Because we didn't have God back.
Give this brother a hand, man. Give this man a hand. Like, brother, you need to be in all black, brother. You understand? This brother is focused. That's the reason why. Because whenever we can't. It was times when blacks and Hispanics came together, and we had thriving, successful 18th and Vine. Mm-hmm. I just found out that 18th and Vine had a $400 million plan in place when Governor Emmanuel Cleaver was mayor to revamp the entire 18th and Vine. Somehow the money came up missing. The money came up missing, Konaya. Right? Like always. There's been black areas, brother, that were booming and during segregation. And guess what happened? They got destroyed, like this brother said. They got destroyed like Lincoln, Nebraska in 1919. They got destroyed like Rosewood, Florida, like Slocum, Texas in the Slocum Massacre. They got destroyed like Seneca Village. They got destroyed like Black Wall Street, like the Stagville that we're going to with Commander Juliana in North Carolina. They said that was the most thriving black community in all of America during its heyday in North Carolina. In Raleigh, North Carolina, it was 3 times the size as Black Wall Street in Tulsa. They made 3 times as much money, and it was just thriving and booming, and we don't even know what that looks like. We don't even know what it looks like, but now there are white city councilmen over your district that's going to kick you out of your own house. Well, guess what, brother? Missouri is a state, and probably the only state that I researched that just made a law and passed the law where if you are evicted, if you are homeless, you go to jail. If you're homeless, you pay a fine. Well, what happens when you get evicted? You're homeless. You have nowhere to stay. You're getting kicked out of what was once your home. Like this oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. Right. He is absolutely disgusting, just like Haman, just like Asterisk. That's why a man like Haman is over us, was over us. That's why a city councilman in your district is over you. So they can evict you at will and they can oppress you at will, and you still have to love them. You still have to put your hands on the steering wheel. Oh, yes, sir. How you doing today, sir? You still have to look them in you still have to look them in their eyes and say, I'm having a fine day today, sir. What's going on, sir? How you doing? You can back talk just like in slavery, because if you back talk to somebody who's an oppressor, guess what's going to happen? You're going to jail. How do I know? Look at Tyree Nichols. Look at Philando Castile. Even the thought, an oppressor's thought of you getting flipped with them, like that brother who was in uniform and still got tased. Brother, that man said, well, what are y'all pulling me over for? The cop literally said, don't get flipped with me, boy. You're going to ride the lightning, son. That's what the white officer told that brother in Virginia, who was in a military uniform, an American military uniform. There's nothing you can do other than serve God. That's it. You understand? Like all of the black history we have in this country of having thriving businesses and this and that, nothing works except serving the Most High God. We're going to read about it here. We're reading about it right now. Like serving the Most High God, no matter who is over us, is the only solution. Go ahead, Elisha. You had something you wanted to say?
Kind. And what about the situation, I believe it was in Florida, when the police officer pulled over the oppressor woman, and she was scared.
Yes.
And he told her,
go ahead.
Oh,
we only kill black people.
We only do that to black people.
That's what he said. We only kill black people.
Yeah, we only kill black people.
Like that, he said, we only kill black people. Don't be afraid because we only kill black people. Yeah, this is something we only do to black people. And he didn't get fired, Doc. He didn't lose his job because that is a good American boy. Right. He's just doing the right thing. He's doing what any American would do because that is America. You understand, Doc? That is America, to mistreat God's chosen people. Well, at one time, that was us here in the Bible. Keep going. And that's what you have to do. When you read the Bible, don't make it so Christians make everything so fanical and so Disney Channel and so Disney World, and it's just it's esoteric and it's spooky. You can't even grasp it, brother. The Bible is right in front of your face. It's your life every day. Sister, this Bible is your life right now. You understand? There is nothing different then than there is now. It's the same thing, precept. Come on, officers. There's nothing now that didn't happen then, and there's nothing then that doesn't happen now. Precept.
So like I'm paraphrasing, but there's nothing new under the sun.
Give the brother a hand. There's nothing new. That's what you was going to say, Elisha? Give the brother a hand. There's nothing new under the sun. The oppression we faced then is the same thing that happens now. You understand? The same people who was over us then, are the same exact people and the same oppressors that are over us now. In District 4 of Northeast Kansas City. In District 3 of, 18th and Vine. Like, these are the same people, man. You understand? Keep going, Quinayaga boy.
But Mordecai bowed not, nor did he reverence. Verse 3. Then the king's servants...
Hold on, now slow that down. So Mordecai didn't bow. You understand? Mordecai didn't bow. Why didn't he bow? Huh? Somebody want to answer that? Why didn't Mordecai bow? Go ahead. I'll point it to you, Elisha.
I was going to say, for one, he wasn't a coward.
Get a brother a hand. He wasn't a coward. And what else?
And then he was I would say Mordecai was he was doing the Lord's will. He was a leader.
He was a leader, boy. Now you said before leader, you say he was doing the Lord's will. Put that into what the Bible says in Esther 1 and 2. What kind of man was Mordecai?
What did it say in verse 2?
No, in chapter 2 and 1 of Esther, you gotta know a little history of the Bible to know the type of man Mordecai was. He was what kind of man? He was say it. So he was a devout man, but what is another word for that? He was a just man. He was a man of God. Like you said, he was doing the Lord's will. He was a just man. He was doing the work of the Lord. He doesn't fear. Just like, who does that remind you of? Well, we just the last High Holy Day we just celebrated in Hanukkah. Who does that remind you of? Go ahead.
Mordecai.
No, who does Mordecai remind you of?
Mordecai reminds you of Hezekiah.
Judas Maccabees. In the book of Maccabees. Hanukkah. These are strong brothers, who took a stand against unrighteousness. Just like how Colin Kaepernick tried to do with the kneel, taking a knee. Everybody remembers that. That was just, That was righteous. Like, he saw the oppression that his people were suffering under. And even though he wasn't getting oppressed, and this is why we need to be separate again. It takes a special type of man and woman to be up. Because Mordecai was He was probably what you would consider the Secretary of State. He was a man who had a lot of power at this time. He was a man who had a lot of power and was in a high position. And he still didn't allow the people who was above him to oppress his people who didn't have power. Just like Colin Kaepernick. You understand? Colin Kaepernick was a brother who wasn't getting oppressed. This brother didn't, get pulled over and the cops don't recognize him and they pull him over and then charge him with something that he didn't do, like they do us poor brothers. They knew Colin. If he was in the Bay Area, they pull him over. Hey, I just saw you. What's going on, Mr. Kaepernick? That's how the cops talk to rich black people, like Jay-Z. They talk to you like they know you because they are a fan of you. But what about black people who aren't in positions of power? What happens to them? They get unalived by the police.
Right.
Everybody understand? Mordecai was just like Colin Kaepernick in that. I'm not comparing them saying that they were the exact same, but Colin Kaepernick took a stand and Mordecai took a stand for the unrighteousness that was going on with his people. You understand? And Mordecai, like I was saying, it takes a special type of brother to do something like that. Those type of men, Commander General breeds here in the ISUPK. Men who are no cowards. Brothers who will not allow some cop to put a knee on their brother's neck. A brother who won't allow someone to steal their sister right in front of their face. There are cowards who will do that. You understand? Excuse me. There are cowards out there who allows that to happen. Mainly they're in the Christian church. But then there are brothers who won't allow that to happen no matter what the consequence is. No matter if the consequence is jail, no matter if the consequence is losing their job, no matter if the consequence is death. They will stand up for what's right, and they will stand up for what's just. Those are the type of brothers we need in the earth now, and those are the brothers you're looking at in the ISUPK under Commander Juniana. That's right. These men here, brother, no matter what the consequence is, we are no cowards under any circumstance. Everybody understand that? I pray you do. You understand? And that's the type of brother Mordecai. Mordecai was one West. He was a brother who had a position of power, but didn't allow that power to get to his head like so many of us do. You get a new job, and you just don't want no black people at that job working there. You get a, what is it called, a promotion after slavery. You don't want no, but as soon as Jake get a promotion after slavery, y'all, you don't even know who he is no more. He wearing a suit and tie now, and you like, damn, what's going on, Mark? Oh, get away from that. Oh, how are you doing today? I got to go to my office now. They don't know who in the hell you are no more. You know why? Because that power got to the head. The little power the oppressor gives you goes to your head, not Mordecai, not Commander Juliana. Not the brothers in here. You understand? Even Esther was in a position of power. She didn't let it go to her head like most black women. So, like, excuse me, sisters, but when Eve get that position of power, brother, Eve, brother, whew, she's just gone. She don't know no black person at all. You got to call her queen. What's the other word they get called? They like to get called, Doc. What's that stupid word they like?
I think Queen's number one.
Queen, and it's another one. No, not diva. I wish that's all they would like to be called. It's queen, and it's another one. It's an empress. Queen, empress, mother, God of all the workers at GM, of all the workers at Ford. I'm the best thing. That's all. That's Eve today, especially in that conscious community. They love titles and they love that power and they abuse it. Not righteous men, not righteous women. They don't abuse power. They look out for their people, no matter if their people are poor or if their people are rich. They don't care. Not a righteous man. Like this, that is a good trait of a righteous brother, of a good leader. Is to maintain your integrity despite what the consequences are. Everybody understand? Keep going. That's why that brother didn't bow. That brother was a devout brother. A brother who was about his business, man. That loved his people. Keep going now.
Verse 3. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, Why transgressest thou the king's commandment?
Keep going.
Verse 4. Now it came to pass.
Like some old Christian, some sellout. Why ain't you doing this? Y'all don't celebrate birthdays. How many times have you heard that? Right. You don't celebrate Christmas. Right. Oh my God, that's the worst thing in the world. What do you mean that you don't love white people? Right. You don't love white people. How could you live without loving white people? That is the blacks and Hispanics' biggest thing about coming into UPK. You have to love brother. Yesterday there was a sister who lives an alternative lifestyle that we interviewed out. This sister fake like her mama was white. She fake like her. She said, I got a white mama. What about, and she was so serious. I said, well, sis, love your mama. You can love your mama if your mama white. We don't hate white oppressors. Love your mama. She said, no, I'm just joking. My mama ain't white. But I just want to know how y'all feel about white people because that's the biggest burden coming in the truth. Right. She don't care about the alternative lifestyle she lives in, none of that. She just wants to know, do you love white people? I would be in the school today if you love white people because that is it. That's black people's entire life. Do you love your oppressor? Am I wrong or right, sis? That's your biggest fear is will white people love me and accept me? That was these cats here at the king's servants. They said, well, Mordecai, you ain't did what? You don't love white people. You respect blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians over the oppressor? What are you thinking? Go ahead, Cornaya, you had something you wanted to say?
I was just going to say another one is that voting. When it's time to vote, boy.
Which is more proof that they love white people. Because you vote for city councilman districts in your district, that's an oppressor.
You can't talk about it. You didn't vote?
Yeah.
You can't. Man,
get a brother a hand. That's true. Voting is just another extension of showing your love to the oppressor. Right. You don't vote for righteous men and women because if you did, your neighborhoods wouldn't look like that. Right. You vote for city councilman. What is that girl's name? What is that devil's name over District 4? We just looked her up. It's something that looks like a man. And black people, and this is what I don't understand. You voted for them. You voted for the city councilman over your district, and they're going to evict you. Oh, he's too wild, sis. He's too wild. One day he's going to have my job, sis. He's just trying to get trained up. Get a little brother a hand, man. Get a young soldier a hand. He's just trying to get trained up early. You understand? I wish I was trained up at that age. You understand? Go ahead, Elisha. You had something you want to say?
I'm saying the brother right here has something to say.
Oh, go ahead. Salakia.
I realized, because this is my first time here, and I don't really know a lot, but I realized one thing I agree with y'all on, that a lot of people don't like, is that I never thought God was this merciful God and loves everybody. And also,
damn right.
A lot of people hate the fact that I strongly believe that some people don't deserve to keep breathing.
Get a brother hand.
You attacking kids or women and all that.
Get a brother hand.
I think you deserve to keep breathing.
And guess what, Doc? The Bible agrees with you. You understand? The Bible says a rapist shall be put to death. A child molester shall be put to death. Like there are certain people God doesn't like either. There's certain actions that the Most High God doesn't like. You're absolutely right. Give the brother another hand. Like the Most High God agrees with you. The Lord has a chosen people. The Lord is merciful. He is merciful, but the church makes him out to be all love, and that's not the Lord. That's not the Lord. He's merciful, but he's merciful only to a certain group of people, and those people are your people. People who look just like you. People who descend from the same man you descend from, Israel. That's who the Lord is merciful to, not Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, not the Jewish, not the Germans. The Lord is merciful to us. That's in the Bible. You understand? So give the brother a hand. He's absolutely right. The Bible agrees with that brother. You understand? Salakia, go ahead what you were saying, Elisha. You had something you wanted to say?
Oh, I would to add along what you were saying, and what the brother is absolutely correct in what he was saying, that the Lord is merciful towards a certain group of people, but we must remember too also, you know, for a lot of Christians, you'll never hear this in a Christian church or that precept, because the Lord, the Most High God, is a man of war.
That's right.
You understand? In order to be a man of war, there has to be things it has to be opposition.
That's right.
It has to be things to go against. And in the Christian church, they don't go against anything.
Right.
There's nothing you can do in the Christian church to offend their God that they serve.
That's right.
But according to the God of the Bible, the Most High God, there's an opposition that you have to go to war with.
Damn right.
We hear from General Muhammad all the time, Adawan, that life is about war.
Get it, brother, hand.
You understand?
And no matter what you're doing in life, you're going to war. You get up and go to that slave, you're going to war with that slave. You understand? You got children, you got to go to war.
That's right.
You got to go to war. You got to go to war against all of the disgusting things that want to hurt children in this world. You understand? Like, you have to go to war no matter what you do, no matter what. If you're just a brother that sits at home and plays video games, like, you're going to war with something. You got to go to war with something every day you wake up. And what the brother said was so true. Because knowing the truth, you understand that God is a man of war. That means you could be a brother like Mordecai and understand that too. You could be a brother like Commander General Yohana and understand that, listen, if I don't go to war with this thing, then I will fail at this job.
That's right.
I won't have the integrity, or I won't have the righteousness. I won't have the just mentality of saving my people because I don't go to war with everything that's trying to tell me to hate my people. You think Dr. King didn't have that? Like, you don't think that Malcolm X and brothers, like, just because they were sellouts, they just simply didn't go to war with the demon of hating black people. But they had something in them that said, you need to love black people. You mean to tell me Dr. King didn't see dogs getting sicked on his own children, his own people, and didn't feel compassion? He absolutely did. But he didn't choose to go to war with that thing that said love your people. I'm sorry, hate your people. He just accepted it. He accepted the hate of his people, so he started loving the oppressor. And he joined us into the oppressor knowing it was a bad decision. You have to go to war with something, man. You battling, you going to war. You waking up, you going to war. You got to bathe them kids. Getting kids in the tub and out the tub is that's warfare, sister. You sisters are mommies. You going to war. Listen, sisters go to war with all kinds of demons. Getting angry at their husband, being impatient, being someone who is not a monster. Because it's so easy for a black and Hispanic woman to be a monster. You have to go to war. You know what else is easy? It's easy to hate your people. And that's the only thing you're allowed to do in the church is hate blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians.
That's right.
That's it. You have to go to war with that thing telling you to hate black people. You have to go to war with that thing saying, man, I hate Charleston White because he hates black people. Hate the oppressor. You understand? Because the oppressor is what made Charleston White hate your people. You hate Dr. King, hate the oppressor. Because the oppressor is what made Dr. King hate your people. You have to put the blame on your oppressor. Because your oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
You understand? You have to go to war with that thing that's telling you everything in your ear, and everything, the air is telling you to hate your people. Schools are teaching your children to hate their own people. History teaches you to hate your own people. The religions of this earth teaches you to hate your own people. You have to go to war with that every day. Nah, man, I'm not going to betray my people. I'm not going to forsake the God of my forefathers. Everything is telling you I need to leave the truth. I need to go back into the world and have sex with whores and leave the truth.
Right.
You have to fight that demon, man.
That's right.
You have to go to war with something every day. Because if you don't battle, it's winning against you every time.
That's right.
Every time. Mordecai won his battle. Mordecai fought the demon of following his own people into bowing for an unjust man. Mordecai said, we don't bow to anyone but the Most High God.
Damn right.
And that brother was righteous, and that brother was just like Commander General Yohana. just like the brothers in this school was a just man who went to war against hating his own people.
Right.
That's what you better be in these last days, man. You better choose a side and make a decision the way Mordecai did, the way Esther did. How to side, Mardakya in the Hebrew. Keep going, Kodaya.
Kalawakar, sir. Verse 4. Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matter would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew.
Yeah, he wasn't ashamed. He was on West. He didn't go to that slave and say, no, I'm not with those cats on down there in 1 West. I don't call the white man the devil on street corners. I didn't come in here to die. That ain't me. No, I'm not with them. But then you get around us, hey, what's going on, King? Shalom, y'all. What's going on? Shalom. No, that's not us, Doc. That's not us. We won West till death. We won West at the slavery. We won West around women. A woman say, well, I don't want to mess with you because you believe in multiple wives. Shalom. Good riddance.
Right.
Skedaddle. Scram. We don't want you. We don't want you. We're one West. We're no cowards. We don't care who's watching. The FBI come and tap your phone. What in the hell are you scared of? The Black Panthers are scared to death. Those Muslims are scared. Dr. Umar Johnson, I've heard this brother speak. And, brother, one thing I know he's terrified of is the FBI. Because he looks in his videos, he makes sure there's nobody watching and listening just to make sure there's not the FBI. Right. Well, you know, the FBI got my phone tapped. He's just a paranoid schizophrenic. He's a schizophrenic, a paranoid. Paranoid of what? The FBI? What are you ashamed of your belief? You think I'm ashamed to tell the FBI that I believe the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of? We'll go to the grave saying that the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
And the Jews are black.
That's right.
That God is black. That the angels are black. That God is a nigger and he's returning Christ to save niggers. We'll go to the death chair behind that because we're no cowards.
That's right.
But everybody else around us is so coward that they would cowardice and kowtow to just knowing that the Jews are black. From just saying, you can't even say it. Kyrie Irving couldn't even post a link that said Hebrews to Negroes. He lost it. He got fined for that. Like Kanye West lost all of his endorsements just for saying the Jews are black. We don't care about losing endorsements. And I have to give Kanye West a hand for that one because he stood his ground. He never once changed his position on the Jews being black even after they took all his money. He still said, the Jews are black. That's a little integrity he has. Imagine if he got trained by Commander Junior Honor. That thing would have just blew up. Like, you going to be a man in here. You ain't going to be afraid to say the Jews are black to the cops. Yes, this is our belief, sir. I've been in court, and yes, this is what this cover is, the Shield of David. You better be ready to break it all down now. You better be ready to break it down. You get pulled over by the cops, what is that ring you got on your finger? Or I'm a Jew. You understand? I'm not Jewish. I am a Jew. The Jews are black. Did you know that, officer? That's my belief. No, give me the ticket and send me on my goddamn way. What are you doing? Taking me to jail? Take me to jail. We're not afraid of jail. We're not afraid of cops. We're not afraid of the FBI tapping our phones like Dr. Umar Johnson. We don't give a damn because we know what we stand for, and we know what we devoted our lives to, just like Mordecai. That's how you build a nation, brother. That's how you build a nation. Not a bunch of cowards afraid of the FBI. How in the hell could Dr. Umar Johnson teach black kids at his school that he's been building for 15 years about integrity when he is scared of the FBI? Commander Junior doesn't teach us to be scared of anything.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, Doc. You had something you wanted to say?
Sir, if I may, because cats like Dr. Umar Johnson and anyone inside the Christian church, any black leader, they're scared that their phones are being tapped. They're scared they're being watched, unlike the ISUPK
That's right.
Junior Hana, because we practice integrity.
That's right.
If you don't practice integrity, you're scared all those skeletons in your closet
Damn right,
are
Doc.
going to come out.
Damn right.
Dr. Umar Johnson, he was sleeping with them hoes. It was,
He did.
He did.
He admitted to it.
He admitted to
Yeah.
it. So when you're trying to uplift black people, and you know that people need someone to look at
John.
to practice integrity, and you're not that person,
John.
of course you're scared of what the FBI is going to bring out. Just
Damn
like
right.
Bill Cosby,
God.
just like R. Kelly, just like Michael Jackson,
Damn right.
just like any person who has a name and fame and money, but they don't have integrity.
Yeah, right.
Like the men in ISUPK under Commander Junior Hana.
That's right. Get it, brother hand. Shit, I want the FBI to hear what the hell we
Yeah,
talking about.
listen.
I want them to tap all of my phones. You know what they gonna hear? A lot of, what did General Myman say? A lot of this. They're going to hear this in the house all day. They're going to see me going from woman to woman house, and this is all they're going to hear right here. This is it right here. This is all they're going to hear all day and night. That's what the FBI is going to hear. And they're going to hear me say, man, the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
That's it, brother. We ain't afraid of anything we believe in because we're righteous men in here, brother. Just like Mordecai.
Right.
Just like Maradakia, brother. Keep going, Quinaya.
Kalawakan.
Remember, we come hard.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they said. They said the UPK, they come hard.
That's the fake Israelites.
That's what fake Israelites say about us. They know we come hard. And we have sex with a lot of women. Moving on. Go ahead.
Anybody made that shirt yet?
You make it, brother.
You need to.
Make that shirt, brother. We come hard and they come soft.
God.
Maradakia came hard, brother. You understand? He said, bow to the king. Nah, he was one West Sock.
Right.
You understand? That's the type of integrity that black men have to have in these last days. And we don't have it because of horrible leaders who lack that type of integrity. Dr. King lacked that type of integrity. Malcolm X lacked that type of integrity. And here we teach you to have that type of integrity, brother. Right. And for sisters too. Sisters, don't forget that you are a major part in the Feast of Purim.
Right.
You understand? It was a black woman that we're celebrating today. A Latino woman that we're celebrating today. A Native Indian woman we're celebrating today. Because she had integrity, something that sisters don't have outside of the UPK.
That's right.
Outside of the UPK, sisters use their behinds. And they use their tail, what's in between their legs, to get respect and to get attention. Not in the UPK. They use their integrity and their smarts in their brains. Esther was the same way.
Yeah, right.
Like, integrity is not just a man thing. That's also what all of us need to have in these last days. It's the only way we're going to succeed and be ready when Christ returns. Yeah, I want to be ready when Christ returns. I don't want to be caught like so many of the men that he gave parables about who was not ready. I want to be ready when them chariots come, man. I don't want to be caught with just sucking my thumb and caught, having sex with some whore or caught lacking integrity. I want to have integrity when Christ comes. The only place you're going to earn that integrity and learn about that is here in the UPK, man. You're going to learn this. The Bible says this, brother. Let the weak say, I am strong. That's what the Bible says. This is that place where you're going to learn to be strong just like Mordecai. The sister's going to come in here. You were weak in the world. You're going to come in here and learn to have the kind of femininity that the woman needs, like Esther. You think being strong in the world, a woman thinks being strong in the world is being uber masculine. Nah, you can never be masculine because you're not a man, sis. What you need is femininity. Listen and be humbled by your husband. Listen to the man of God. When he tells you what to do it. And do it with all of the energy you have in your body to do it. Put your best foot forward as a sister. That's the type of righteousness and integrity a woman can have. That's the type of strength a woman can obtain here in this school. You're not going to get that outside the UPK, man.
That's right.
A woman would never, a brother's going to tell you to do what? A brother's going to encourage you to be a whore. I don't know if women know this or not, but men outside of the truth encourage women to dress promiscuously. Men outside of the truth encourage our sisters to be whores. They say, well, listen, I'm going to have sex with you. I love you. Then after they have sex with you, they throw you away. Then the next brother's going to tell you the same thing. I'll take care of you for the rest of your life, baby. I love you. I believe in one wife. And then you get married and he leaves you after 10 years. Like men in the world, they encourage that type of behavior. And here we encourage a woman to be feminine. To be with one man her whole entire life and be absolutely feminine. That's your power, sis. That's your power. Raising children who grow up to be Mae Jemison. Raising kids that grow up to be Esther. That's your power. Sisters want to know where their power is. Sis, you can raise your daughters and your sons to be righteous men and women.
That's right.
You can show them that at a young age. The first thing they see is their mother. Their mother. The first one they hold is their mother. They suckle from your breast. You are the first thing that they see. You could be a righteous sister and teach them what righteousness looks like. That's your power, sis. Brothers, you know what your power is. This right here. Being Mordecai. Standing up for what's right. You understand? Keep going, Corneliah, because we got a lot more to get into. All right.
Verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
He was full of what?
Full of wrath.
So this he's an angry guy. He's absolutely angry. You understand? Haman was absolutely angry. Look, I got this pulled up. This is some history for y'all. This is the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. It says Haman the great enemy of the Jews in the day of Esther. That's the first thing it says. Like history tells you that Haman hated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He was a great enemy of the Jews. You understand? And Mordecai was so righteous, knowing that what he did could mean death. He didn't stand for this. I mean, Salakia, he stood when Haman walked by. He didn't bow. And he asked, why didn't you bow? Read that part again, Cornelius.
Verse 5. And where Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
Brother, he was angry. What is this Negro doing? He's just some slave. What is he doing that he not bowing to me? Ain't that what the king's order was, to bow to me? I'm over him. Like, this is some oppressor. You know when oppressors get mad, like they get mad. He wants to just ruin Mordecai now. He wants to ruin his life, take his life, because he's full of wrath. Keep going.
Verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus. Even the people of Mordecai.
Keep going.
Verse 7.
Did y'all hear that? What he just said? Break it down, brother. What is going on here? So now you know Haman hated the Jews. He hated Mordecai's people. He hated our people. Mordecai refused to bow to this evil bastard. And now Haman is angry, Salakia. Now Haman is absolutely infuriated that this brother didn't bow to him like so many other blacks and Hispanics. What is going on here, what he just read? He just read something. What is going on here now?
Is the question to anybody?
No, it's to that brother, specifically to this brother.
Oh.
You been listening. I know you've been listening because you've been focused and tuned in. The last part, hold on. I'm going to let him read it again. Just 1 second. Go ahead and read it again, Cornelius.
And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone.
What does that mean? He thought scorn to lay hands on him. What does that mean? What verse are you in, Cornelius?
Verse 6.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. He thought scorn to lay hands on him. So like on Mordecai alone, he said he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone. What does that mean?
I'm assuming it means he wanted to hit him.
A little bit more than that.
Kill him, probably?
Not necessarily kill, but to lay hands is to beat his behind. You understand? I can't say the other word, but to beat his, you know what? Yes, he wanted to get a brother hand. He wanted to do something very, very evil to Mordecai. Not necessarily kill him, but he gonna want to wish he was dead. You ever heard that? You gonna wish he was. I'm gonna tan your hide, boy. That's an old, just Judite phrase for being slaves. Your grandfather ever said that? I'm gonna tan your hide, boy. That's a old Judite phrase. You a cotton picker. I'm gonna tan your hide. If you don't do this, you gonna wish you had been gone. You gonna wish you was never born. Yeah, that's what this dude Haman saying right here. You understand? Go ahead, Elijah.
Like what we say today, basically, is like I'm gonna F you. I want to F this nigga up.
Yeah, get a brother hand. That's a rough one, but that's exactly what Haman is saying. Yeah, I'm gonna beat your. You know what? You gonna wish you was gone. Like that's it. That's what Haman is saying. He was full of wrath and he was scorned to lay hands on Mordecai alone. He wanted to just go in there and you know what? You understand? He wanted to put hands on his brother. Keep going. So now that we there, keep going, Cornelius.
For they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews.
He sought to do what?
Destroy all the Jews.
Keep going.
That were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus. Even the people of Mordecai.
So now, what's going on here? You just read it.
So, from what I understand, he wants them all. I'm assuming he wants them all to go because
he wants them all to what?
To go. Like
get a brother hand.
Because
get a brother hand.
Yeah. Like they gonna follow behind Mordecai.
Say it again, Doc.
They gonna follow behind Mordecai.
Get his brother hand, man. He knows that if a brother takes a stand and they see you take that stand, that you're gonna say, "Well, I need to follow him." We all gonna follow Mordecai. Then this is clearly the brother we need to follow. Like if Commander Gianna held this troop down so long by himself that when General Mahayman, General Mayak, you understand, General Haas came in the truth, they saw the great works he was doing by himself. They saw the stand he took against the oppressor's empire. And you know what they said? They said, we're going to follow you. We're going to follow him because this is a righteous brother. You understand? This is a righteous brother. We're going to follow you. Now, 30 years later, now you have brothers in Kansas City. You know the truth started in Harlem, New York in 1969. We ain't Harlem, New York, and this ain't 1969. So how is it that the truth and these traditions have lasted, like I opened up the class with? How is it that it lasted? Because it took a brother and men that followed him to keep these traditions, to keep these commandments. You understand? That's how it's here in Kansas City. That's why it's all the way, brother, in the Netherlands. We have a school in the Netherlands. Did you know that? We have a school in the United Kingdom. You understand? Barakathayi Hawaii Shah. That's because there were men who saw one man, Commander Juliana, keep the traditions he was taught by Chief Head Priest Ariyah and Shaw and Lahab and Mashah. And he saw it, and General Muhammad saw it, and General Mayaka Alaka saw it. And they said, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to follow this brother. Because clearly this brother has integrity, something I've never seen integrity in the world. I've seen cops take an oath and say we swear to defend and protect the United States and the people in my city, and they go and unalive the very people they're supposed to protect. I've seen pastors say, God, we love you, Jesus, we love you, and then touch and violate little girls and boys. I've seen that, but I've never seen a man stand by his word except when I came in contact with Commanding Juliana.
That's right.
And General Mahayaman and General Mayaka Alaka would agree. They've never seen it until they saw him. So you know what they said? I need to follow this brother so I can get what he has. That's now what you just said. This is in the Bible. That man Haman, he wasn't a king, but this ruler over the Jews at this time, he knew that if everyone out of the nation of Israel saw Mordecai, Maradakia in the Hebrew, they're going to do just what you said. They're going to follow him. And you can't have that if you need good slaves. If you need America built, how could you esteem the very people who you are trying to enslave? It doesn't work that way. You would agree, right? Yeah. You know that you can't tell white people can't tell black people how good of a people they are. They can't tell blacks and Hispanics, we need you, we love you, here's more money, because then you wouldn't be a slave. So you have to now demean them like Donald Trump and call everybody rapists from that community. Now you have to call you a S-hole country like he did to the Haitians from the tribe of Levi. You have to keep beating them down and then making them bow to you and love you and worship you and need you. That's a good slave. And the oppressor knows that. And Haman knew it. So now he sought to destroy all of the Jews because of the anger that he had for Mordecai. You understand? You following me? Everybody following me? Keep going, Kunaya. And then after this, I'm going to have you go skip over to chapter 9, verse 20.
Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Assuerus, even the people of Mordecai. Verse 7. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Assuerus, they cast Pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar.
Keep going.
Verse 8. And Haman said unto King Assuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the province of thy kingdom.
I want you to listen to this very, very well. Listen to this thing real good. You understand? Y'all listen to this part real heavy. Keep going. Read that part again. They are dispersed.
There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the province of thy kingdom.
Provinces
of thy kingdom. And their laws are diverse from all people. Neither kept they the king's law.
Neither keep they.
Salakia, neither keep they the king's law. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. Verse 9.
What is that? What is he saying? Hey, you know what? I'm going to let you read verse 9 and we'll break it down. Go ahead. It's very heavy. Go ahead, read verse 9.
If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
Read that part again.
If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
Now, somebody break that down. Go ahead, sis. Come on, sis. Get a sister a hand. Sis, get a sister a hand. No, because the sister's fly. The sister out here looking just like Esther. Out of sight. You understand? Get a sister a hand. Get these sisters a hand. Hardcore War sisters, man. You understand? For the food. And these are the sisters that are just like Esther in the Bible. You understand? Your mother is just like the sister Esther in the Bible. You understand? These sisters are hardcore women who love their nation of people. You understand? Go ahead, sis.
So, and Haman said unto King
Asherus.
There's certain people scattered abroad. So Haman, the white man, the devil.
Don't say it. He's not he's so-called white man. He's not that. He's just an oppressor.
Okay, so the oppressor told the king there's a certain people. Obviously, he's talking about the Jews that are scattered abroad. Abroad can mean anywhere that's not right where they are.
That's right.
Dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. So that means we're hidden throughout the land, basically. And their laws are diverse, meaning the things that they follow are different from the people in the lands in which they're in. And so neither do they keep the king's laws, meaning that king, what's his name? King
Asherus.
They're not following his laws, but wait, neither do they keep the king's laws, so they're not following his laws. So the king is not going to benefit anything for persecuting or hurting them. So if it pleases the king, meaning if the king's happy, if the king wants them to be destroyed, let them be destroyed. But he's not going to gain anything if the people die.
Okay, give the sister a hand. That was mighty. Now, you did miss one thing. You said the second to the last thing you said, it wouldn't please the king for them to die. That part is wrong. Read that part again, Kornaya. Suffer, where he said,
therefore, Salakia.
And their laws are diverse. Read that part.
Okay. And their laws are diverse from all people. Neither kept they the king's law. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
What does that mean? It's not for the king's profit to suffer them. Go ahead, brother.
He doesn't benefit from dealing with them.
Brother, get his brother a hand, man. Give that brother a hand. That means that it doesn't benefit him to let him live. You understand? Just like the brother said, what benefit is it for you, king? This is some old brown nose. Haman, he's brown nosing the king. Answers, king, look, you the most mightiest king. Look, you might as well be a suck up. What'd you say, a sucker? Oh, a sucker. Damn right, give him a hand. That's Kansas City right there. He a sucker. He's in there jeffing, being boosie. He's jeffing and being boosie. And he's saying what? King, listen, you the most mightiest king. What you should do, king, is you should unalive all of these people. I mean, come on, King Asherus, man. What good is it for you to let them live? They don't keep your laws, like the sister Mara said. Give her another hand. She was on it, brother. She was absolutely on it. Like, y'all in here listening and following along. You understand? Like, that's amazing. Most High in Christ. And you're learning something. And this brother, this heathen here said, yeah, King, you might as well go ahead and just unalive them. They're not doing your law. They're not bowing down to... Now, listen to this, Isaac. This is how you know he's so evil. Because Mordecai was the only brother who didn't bow. But what did he go back and tell the king? He made it seem like none of us was bowing down. Like, out of one brother, which is why they can't have one of us be righteous. If one of us is righteous, then what does that mean for the rest of them? That means that the rest of us are going to be righteous too. Because all it takes is that one. All it takes is one brother. We always say in the UPK, of course, if there was one disgusting and foul brother out of our nation, then the rest of us will follow him and be disgusting and foul. But on the flip side of that, if all of us are disgusting and foul and one of us are righteous, then we're all going to be righteous.
That's right.
Because we're sheep. We're going to be led to someone who's attractive for us to follow. And so we're going to see that righteous brother as we get high and snort coke and say, hold on, this cat don't snort, he don't do this, he don't do that, he ain't bowing to the king. We should follow this brother here. We should follow this brother here. Haman knew it. So he goes back and say, none of these niggas keep the law. None of them doing what you said do. They all just evil, and you shouldn't even suffer that they live. Right. You shouldn't even suffer they live. You might as well not even deal with them anymore. They're just a headache, which is what blacks and Hispanics are to this entire earth. We've been a headache to every kingdom, a headache. The Egyptians, they were sick of us. They were so sick of our pleading and so sick of our persistence of wanting to be free that finally the Most High God had to step in. And you know the story about the Passover, right? About the Egyptians and the Jews. Well, brother, I'll break it down to you real fast, real quick. The Egyptians, Pharaoh was the Pharaoh of all of Egypt. And we wanted to be free. All we wanted to have was 3 days off of a work week. That's it. They slaved us from sunup, from can't see to can't see. That's an old Judite slave phrase. We used to work 7 days a week from can't see to can't see. You see how dark it is out there? You will be getting off. You will go to your slave, pick that cotton, and build those Egyptian pyramids at this time right now, and you wouldn't get off until this time right now. You understand? That's how we live, Doc. And all the Jews wanted, all the Israelites wanted, was just 3 days off. To go and just relax and just take a break from slaving and building this kingdom up so good and so fine and so amazing. Making it a beautiful dynasty and kingdom. We just wanted 3 days off. You know what Pharaoh said? No, I'm not giving you 3 days off. So now what had to happen? The Most High God, I'm speeding it up a little bit. Moses asked Pharaoh. He kept begging him. He kept every day, Moses kept begging Pharaoh, let my people go, let my people go, let my people go, let my people go every day. Persistent every day. Pharaoh said, no, I'm going to make life harder for them. No, I'm going to make life harder for them. No, I'm going to make life harder for them until finally your cries were heard by the Most High God. And the Most High God stepped in and plagued the land of Egypt until Pharaoh finally said, you know what? Just go. Take our gold, our diamonds, take all of our money, take all of our currency. Just go. Because the Most High God plagued Egypt so badly that the last plague was their last plague. You understand? He unalived everything in the nation of Egypt. The firstborn rat was dead. The firstborn cockroach was dead. The firstborn Egyptian baby was dead because of the Most High God and his love for the nation of Israel and his love for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh Shah. So Pharaoh said, listen, go. I don't want to lose any more sons. I don't want to lose any more wives. I don't want to lose any more of my people. Just take it. Whatever you need, take it. Go, hurry up, go, because your God is going to be angry with me. Take the gold, take the land, take everything and go. That's the Passover. That's what we're going to be celebrating on April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina under Commander General Yana. The celebration of righteous men who are persistent, who sacrificed and were persistent. Let my people go. Let my people go. Let my people go. Persistent. So finally, the Most High God stepped in. You got to go. I can't take this anymore. My people are being plagued with a plague that we can't handle. Take everything and go. That's the Passover. That's it. Well, guess what? Now, where was I going with that? With the what you just read. Go back to the laws of the verse from all the people. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, go back to that.
And their laws are diverse from all people. Neither kept they the king's law.
So now, brother, going from the Passover, think about what I just said. Now, this cat, Haman, yeah, king, it's, we got to get rid of them. You shouldn't even suffer these cats no more. Don't even suffer these people no more because it won't benefit you it won't benefit you to suffer them. You might as well just unalive all of them. You might as well just go ahead and do what you did to Trayvon Martin. Go ahead and do what you did to Tariq Nichols. Go ahead and do what you did to Philando Castile and Sandra Bland and their slaves and their forefathers. You might as well just do that to all of them because that should be their fate. Because they're no good to you, King. They don't listen to what you say. They don't listen to what you order them to do. Because one man was righteous like Moses in the Passover. Now he knows the rest of them are going to be righteous and they won't bow to the king and they won't listen to us. So now we have to just unalive them. King, go ahead and unalive them. King Asterisk, go ahead and do it. That's what he's saying here. You understand? That's what's going on right here in the Bible. He wants us to be gone. He wants us to be destroyed. That's in the Bible. Keep going, Kornaya.
Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
Keep going.
Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
Keep going.
And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business, to bring it unto the king's treasury.
Brother, do you understand that it was such an important thing for us to be unalive by this man that he was willing to pay how much, Ak?
10,000 talents.
10,000 talents of what?
Silver.
Of silver, Ak. Silver. That's how important it was for us to go. We have been an eyesore everywhere we've gone. Moses in Egypt, and the Israelites in Egypt. The Romans, brother, you got to come to the Feast of Hanukkah because you're going to learn what we did to the Romans, Ak, under the Most High God in Judas Maccabees. You understand? Like, we have been just an eyesore because we are the people who just won't go along with the program. We won't just play the game. You hear that at the slave all the time. I used to hear that all the time in the oppressor's military. Like, it made me sick. Just play the game. Which means, let me help you out if y'all don't know what that means. It means to forego all of your integrity to do something that is absolutely against what you believe.
Right.
It means to have no integrity at all, like all of these rappers that y'all look up to. And all these hoes on Instagram y'all look up to because they have money. You're willing to do whatever it takes to be successful like them. Like those 5 black cops who were so ambitious that they will unalive their own brother just to make it in the Scorpion unit. Just to make it in Omega Psi Phi. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to make it in Omega Psi Phi? You're going to allow another man to beat your behind like you were his child. You're going to put his rod in your mouth to be a part of Omega Psi Phi. You're going to put an egg in this man's mouth, and in this man's mouth, and in this man's mouth, and then pass it until the last man has to swallow everybody's saliva. That is what you're willing to do just to be in a fraternity. Well, what are you willing to do to make it in the oppressor society? What are you willing to do? Have sex with another man? Are you willing to be a woman and perform lesbian alternative acts on another woman? Are you willing to forego your integrity to be successful? Because as a nation of people, we've always been the problem with society because we don't go along with the program. Just like Mordecai. Mordecai said, no, I'm not doing it. And because of that, they said, well, and this was so heavy. Haman said what? The brother brought it up. It's in the Bible. And the sister, too, she broke it down so heavy. We're scattered in all these provinces, meaning we all not in one centralized location. And that's the common myth about the Bible, that we've always been in one place. No, Israelites have always been everywhere. You understand? That's in the Bible. We scattered to the 4 corners of the earth.
That's right.
Everywhere you go, we're there. And so we're there living amongst a people who we know are not our people and who don't have the same integrity as us. You will find Israelites in the Philippines, and they're going to be different than the Filipinos. You're going to find Israelites in Africa. You're going to find Israelites in Europe. You're going to find Israelites in Harlem and in Kansas City on 18th and Vine, and they're going to be different than the Americans that live there. They're going to be different than the Ukrainians that live there. They're going to be different than the British that live in the United Kingdom.
Right.
Because we're set up. We're different because it's something about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians where our integrity just doesn't allow us to do anything. We have something called Salakia. Oh man, give it to me, Ak. What is it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have something that just won't allow us to comply. You understand? It just won't allow us to comply. We're not those people who the Chinese are. The Chinese will eat anything you put in front of them. If America made a doctrine to start eating rats, every other nation on the earth in America would do it except who? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What is black people gonna say? I can hear sister saying it now. What are you gonna say? Hell no! What? Yeah, he must be crazy. I'll go to jail before I eat rats. He got me messed up. I ain't eating no rats. He on one. I ain't eating no rats. I'll go to jail. Take me to jail. You gonna lose your job. I ain't doing that. Why? Because we're the people who've always had integrity. We've had some bit of integrity we can hold on to no matter what captivity we've been in. Well, guess what? Haman knew it. He sees Mordecai's righteousness and integrity, and he knows it takes just that little bit of integrity, and the rest of them are going to get it. And what happens when the rest of them get it? Now the brother said it earlier. He said if we all unified, then they know we would overthrow them. That's the reality and the practical knowledge of this earth. Every nation knows if they don't keep these people oppressed, you're going to rule the world. You're going to rule the planet Earth because what don't you do? You've invented everything that's useful to society. You are the first computers. Your woman is the first computer. They're the most beautiful thing on the earth. That's recorded in the Bible, brother. Yeah, I can show you now in the Bible where it says that black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women, the other nations think are better than their own women. They think are the most beautiful thing on the face of God's green earth. They think that black men are this masculine, hardcore standard of a man, which we are. In following the Bible, we are that standard of a man. Well, what couldn't we accomplish if all of us were unified under God? There will be nothing we couldn't accomplish, which is why the other nations have to keep you oppressed. Haman understands that assignment. You understand? Go ahead, sis.
So question. So we know that we were kept oppressed during slavery because we couldn't read. We weren't able to read. We weren't able to write. We weren't able to gather.
If I may, sis, I wouldn't say we weren't able to read. We weren't allowed to read what?
the Bible
There
or
you
anything.
go. No.
I mean, realistically, once if the slave master caught you reading
Reading what?
anything, you were whipped.
Who built America?
We did
How?
with our hands.
And how else? How do you build Washington D.C. with just your hands?
I mean, I guess we had to read blueprints.
You had to read what?
Blueprints.
Get a sister ahead. So then we weren't not allowed to read. It was one thing that we weren't allowed to read. There's a book General Hyman has called "Go Tell All the Children My Story." It's a good book. You should read it. There is a documentation and in the slave narratives that when slaves were caught reading the Bible, that's when their eyes were burnt out with a cattle brand. Not reading the blueprints that your master needed you to read to master something so he can get the credit for it. You understand? Lewis Latimer had to read something to invent the filament of the light bulb. You understand? The brother who invented Washington, D.C. in the 1700s was a slave, Benjamin Banneker. He had to read blueprints. So reading wasn't forbidden for us. It was reading the Bible.
So here's my question.
Go ahead.
So we were prevented from reading the Bible. We were prevented essentially from gathering together, for holy days or holy times, what have you. How you just mentioned that when you were interviewing people yesterday, that Black people now feel that financial literacy and education is freedom. So according to us, Black people now that are not in the truth, we're free because we have literacy,
right?
Both financial and learned literacy. How do you explain to them oppression nowadays?
How do when I'm interviewing these same people, how would I explain to them oppression? How do we explain it, Elisha? What do we say? Your life now. Because even though it seems like, and I'll give you an example of one I used yesterday, sis. One of the sisters who were talking about financial literacy.
Oh yeah, kind of
The heavier sister was Salaki. They both was heavy. They was voluptuous sisters, Salaki. The sister to the right in the interview, you'll see her on the video. She was the more voluptuous sister, more than all of them that we interviewed, probably all of them combined. And the sister, she said financial literacy was the key that she teaches her children. We specifically asked her, what are you going to teach your son and your daughter to get them prepared for the next 20 years? And she said financial literacy. Am I lying, Elisha? That's what the sister said, right? And education. She said, I got my kids, I got them in private school and education. And so to get her to realize that we're oppressed, you know what I told her? Gentrification.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Gentrification. Because, and guess what she agreed with? That was a form of oppression. She agreed with it. Because it's happening now. What you have to do to get Jakes to realize if you got a friend or something or a family member you trying to get to understand oppression, you get them to realize oppression by giving them examples of their life. Your lights are about to get cut off. You're getting kicked out of the whole entire Northeast District in Kansas City. There's nothing you can tell me to combat that. There's no debating me on this. You're oppressed. You understand? Go ahead. So financial literacy obviously didn't help you from getting kicked out of Northeast. You get my point? Education didn't help you from getting evicted out of the Northeast homes in Northeast Kansas City. So you're definitely oppressed. Now, whether or not you want to see it or not, that's up to you. But you can't tell me you're not oppressed and you are the only one living in a homeless shelter. Not the Arabs, not the Chinese, not the Nigerians, not the Africans. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in dog cages in the INS Detention Center. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the ones getting their brains beat in by 5 black police officers in Memphis, Tennessee. Not the Filipinos or the Arabs who are at war with America right now. You understand? So go ahead, sis. You had something you wanted to say?
Well, so then they'll say something about voting and how they feel like voting will change these city councilmen and city councilwomen and senators.
One second. Hold your point. I got you.
And then, because obviously the city councilmen and women are the ones now who do not have our people's best interests at heart. How do you combat that?
So I'm here with Charissa. Charissa, you are a sister who's about to get put out of your home in District 4 of Kansas City. You understand? What is it that you need that's going to prevent you from getting kicked out of your home? Well, we need $5,000. $5,000 is what we need. Keep the talking down to a minimum, Akim. We need $5,000 to keep us from getting kicked out of our home. That's what we need. Do you have $5,000 to get us from keeping us getting kicked out of your home? What's your answer? What's your response? You don't have $5,000, but ain't you trying to help the sister from getting kicked out of her home? $5,000 is what you need.
As a city councilman? Or
no, as you.
Oh, as me. I got 1,000.
But you don't have $5,000. I need $5,000 today, sister. That's what I need. I'm Teresa, and I need $5,000 to get from getting kicked out of my home. Well, sis, okay, who did you vote for? Well, I voted for Mayor Sly James, and I voted for District Councilman Johnson, and I voted for District Councilman Robinson. Well, do you understand that that's who's responsible for you getting evicted out of your home? The very people that you voted for, you idiot. That is the problem, is that you vote. If you didn't vote, you wouldn't get kicked out of your home. If you didn't vote, you wouldn't have crack corners on every neighborhood in the ghetto. I got a question for you, Teresa. Who is the pastor of the church you go to? Well, Deacon Jones is the pastor of the church I go to. Well, how much money has he collected since that church has been founded? $15 million, $16 million, $70 million. Why in the hell is there a church on every corner in the ghetto and you're still getting evicted out of your home?
Right.
Why are you going to church and you're getting evicted out of your home? Why are you going to church and going voting and the vote doesn't matter and the politician doesn't matter? Black people were poor in the 70s under Ronald Reagan and the 80s under Bill Clinton and the 90s, and you're still poor under Joe Biden and 2023.
That's right.
Clearly, voting doesn't work. You're an idiot. It's worthless. You made a mistake listening to Dr. King. You made a mistake listening to Malcolm X. You made a mistake listening to Big Mama to go to church and pleading the blood of Jesus. My son was shot. I pleaded the blood of Jesus over him. How does that stop him from getting shot? You're an idiot. Your leadership is worthless.
Right.
Black leadership is worthless. Mexican leadership is worthless. That's the solution, sis. You understand? You voted for 50 years and the vote doesn't matter. You've been praying for 50 years and the prayers aren't getting heard. You've been going to church for 50 years and you still have the same problems. It has been a waste of our time, of our soul, of our spirit, of our resources to vote and to be Christian. Right. Everybody understand? That's what you tell your friends that have a hard time understanding why they should vote. Why they shouldn't vote anymore. Why you shouldn't go to church anymore. Tyree Nichols was a Christian, was he not? The 5 black police officers that unalived Tyree Nichols were also Christian. Clearly, Christianity doesn't mean anything because they murdered and unalived their fellow Christian brother. The Ku Klux Klan were also Christians, and they specifically bombed black Baptist churches who were Christian. Dylan Store Roof was a Christian, and he went and unalived black Christians. Clearly, Christianity can't save you.
Right.
Clearly, Islam can't save you. Clearly, voting doesn't matter because my district councilman that I voted for is allowing me to get evicted out of my Northeast Historic Black District neighborhood. It doesn't matter. It means absolutely nothing, and we have wasted our time doing it. So you know what you need to use to show black people they're oppressed? Your life.
Right.
Your life. Haven't you been molested as a little girl? Don't you know that girls that come over here from Germany and the Jewish community and the African community, they don't get sexually violated by their uncles and aunts. Right. They don't go missing, the Jewish girls. The Jewish girls don't go missing. The Jewish boys don't get unalived by the police. They don't get stopped and pulled over by the police. Clearly, you're the only people that it affects. Answer me this. Who gets unalived more from diabetes? Who gets unalived more from hypertension? Who gets unalived more from HIV/AIDS? Who gets unalived more from the police unaliving them and police brutality? Is it Jewish people? Is it the Africans from Nigeria? Is it the Africans from Ghana? Is it the white man from Germany? Is it the white man from Russia and Ukraine? Is it the Chinese who are at war with America? Do their sons and daughters go unalived and missing? Then you are the only people it affects. So what the hell are you doing outside of the ISUPK? Clearly, this is the only place that can save your life. But you would rather vote. Right. You would rather pray. You would rather go to church and celebrate Christmas and make a joyful noise and bang a tambourine. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Right. What you should do is come into the ISUPK so your daughters can stop going missing and your sons can stop getting unalived by the police. Everybody understand?
That's right.
Keep reading. Does that answer your question, sis? Most High Christ. Give the sister a hand. Go ahead, I keep going.
Let it, Salakia, I'll start from the beginning. Verse 9, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the heads of those that have been charged, Salakia, that have the charge of the business, and bring it into the king's treasures. Verse 10. And the king...
No, you can stop right there. Now go to chapter 9, verse 20. It's the last scripture. All right, we're going to read the last few scriptures for the Feast of Purim. So now everybody understands a little bit of the history. Brother, you had a question, did you not? You had a question? You had a comment?
I don't even remember. Oh, I was talking about the voting. I was just going to say, the voting don't really matter when you just voted for the lesser of two evils.
Get a brother a hand. And voting for the lesser of two evils mean what? What does that mean?
Either way, suppress it. Which one do you feel is worse?
Give the brother a hand, man. Give him a hand. You're an idiot. That's what he's saying. You're voting for the lesser of two evils. They're both evil. You're voting you're choosing the difference between a rapist and a child molester. They're both evil. They're both sinners. They both hate you. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? You should serve God. You should come in the ISUPK and serve God. That's something you've never done.
That's right.
That's something that would actually save somebody. That's something that would actually stop oppression and gentrification and de-niggifying of 18th and Vine is joining Commanding General Yohana.
That's right.
Go ahead. What you got, so like you had something to say.
If I may, like a lot of our people these days, what I notice with blacks and Hispanics these days, that they understand how segregation helped build black communities. Mm-hmm. But on the same note, it's like they struggle when we're in their Christian church. And when we're not in ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, we struggle with understanding that we don't need to focus on equality. Mm-hmm. And blacks and Hispanics don't understand that focusing on equality is keeping us on the bottom of, our oppressor's kingdom. Mm-hmm. It's keeping us separated from the Most High God.
Damn right.
Because if you think you're going to have equality in the people who... with the people, if you think you're going to have equality and joining the people who put you through slavery, mm-hmm. who unalive blacks and Hispanics simply because of the way we look, we have a lot of work to do.
Damn right.
You understand?
Yeah, brother.
So the equality is never going to
right.
come, and us focusing on equality as a nation is keeping us in slavery. It's keeping us Christian. It's keeping us unfocused on what our main priority should be, which is coming back, focusing and having brotherhood on the nation of Israel.
Damn right. Get a brother a hand. Get a brother a hand. That's absolute truth. What he said was so true. And we're not focused. We're absolutely not. You know what our focus is on? Voting. That's what our focus is on. What this year, next year, you're going to be voting for a new God to rule over you. It's going to be Joe Biden or Republican. It's next year, 2024. And so next year, you're going to be voting for some new God to rule over you that's not named Joe Biden or Donald Trump. They saying Donald Trump might run again. His son said he might run again and might get elected again. And it might be beautiful for us, but that might usher in third world. I might not mind that. But you don't go vote for him, because if you go vote for him, then the Lord is going to remember that.
The press is going to vote for it. They voting for him.
No, this Jake is going to vote for him too,
Oh, yeah.
This Jake is going to...
Charleston White.
Yeah, exactly. It's sellouts that will vote for him. But when Donald Trump was elected, more Mexicans voted for Donald Trump than they did anybody else. You're going to vote for the same man who hates you, just like we're reading about in the Bible. Haman was an unrighteous man over us. And did we care? Nah. You know who cared, though? One brother, Mordecai, who had the integrity to not do what went against his integrity, what went against his belief. That's a righteous man. You understand? Keep going, Cornelius.
This is Esther chapter 9, verse 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Assuerus.
You might need a little. You might hold on, Salaki. You need to skip up. Okay, you need to skip up to verse 12.
Verse 12, Kamakai, sir. Esther chapter 9, verse 12.
Nope, go to verse 4.
Esther chapter 9, verse 4. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. And this man,
Salakia. Okay, skip up to verse 1. Now, we're not going to read the whole thing, but I need you to give them context. So, brother, remember this. We were just reading. We just read the history of we just read the history of who during the time of King Ahasuerus ruled over us. We just read the history about Esther and Mordecai and the battle between the spiritual warfare that there was between Haman and Mordecai, because Haman hated Mordecai for being a righteous man. Now, let's catch us up to Purim. Let's catch us up after you understand what we just read. Let's catch us up to what happens with Mordecai and Esther. Now, this is where we at right here. You understand? Go. We already read where the other this King Ahasuerus and his right-hand man Haman wanted to unalive all of the nation of Israel. We just read that. So now let's see what the response is from Mordecai. Read.
Esther chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them.
So, like, you want to eat, Ak? You go ahead and eat. You go ahead and eat. You
it.
sure?
Yeah,
Okay. No sweat. Most High Christ. No, he go ahead. He said eat to Go ahead, Corneliah.
Though it was turned to the contrary, Salakia. Though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had ruled over them that hated them. Verse 2. Verse 2. You want verse 2, sir?
Please.
Verse 2. The Jews gathered themselves together in the cities throughout all the provinces of the king of Ahasuerus, to lay hand on such as sought their hurt. And no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people.
Read that again.
For the fear of them fell upon all people.
Y'all following along? So now, the Jews gathered themselves together in the city throughout all. Remember, this man Haman, this evil, wicked bastard, he said these Jews are in all the provinces of everywhere. And we need to, King, you need to create an ordinance to unalive them. Well, listen to this, Ak. Now, we still in those provinces. And now we gather together. Like the brother was saying earlier, we need to gather together. Brother, that's Zephaniah 2:1. We got to gather. That's the first step. Before we can even do anything else, you got to gather yourself together. You want all this financial literacy, that's good. I want all y'all to have $1 billion. That's great. But before, you won't have $1 billion if you have competition. Your competition is your oppressor. The only reason your competition is your oppressor is because we integrated. The first step we need to do is gather ourselves together. Then you lose all competition. Now your people are only forced to buy from you, to farm with you, to provide and help you, to suffer you. They're not obligated to do that to any other nation. Right. That's the first step, gathering yourselves together. That's why it's in the Bible. You understand? So that's the first step. So they gathered together. No matter where they were, they gathered to lay hands on such as sought their hurt. So listen, brother, you think that the Most High God is a weak being, and you think the people that believe in God have to be weak. Christianity has this dogma that if you believe in Jesus and God, you have to be weak.
Right.
That's not the Most High God. That's not the Bible. You mean to tell me that if your daughter or son was getting bullied at school, what's your advice? Well, just keep on getting bullied and just pray for him. Just you know what you should do because your son keeps getting bullied? You should tell him to go and join hands with him and to make a speech that says, I have a dream that even though you hit me every day at school and take my lunch money, I have a dream that one day we're going to come together and be good friends. Right. Why don't you go tell your son that? You will never do that. You will never do that because that's not realistic or practical. It's not practical. It's not practical. But Christianity has this goddamn dogma, in this belief that you have to be soft because you follow Christ. You have to be soft because you follow the Most High. The Most High is the opposite of soft. He's hard. You understand? The Most High God is a man of war. The scripture the brother brought out earlier, Exodus 15:3. Well, guess what his people are about? Some warfare. The men of the nation of Israel are supposed to be about warfare. That's why we dress the way we do. That's why this is our culture with the long hair and the strong men and the swords and the training and the Yad Karab. That's why that's our culture, because that is who the Most High God is. He's a man of war. So rightfully, we have to be about warfare, not soft, not praying and prayer. Somebody lay their hands on you. What do? Turn the other cheek? No, that's not biblical. That's not righteous. That's idiotic. That's silly. You understand? So we're the people who fought back. That's what it says here in the scripture. You understand? We laid hands on them that sought to do us wrong, that sought to hurt us. We defended ourselves, unlike Christians believe. Dr. King was a pacifist. Dr. King didn't believe in the Bible. You understand? Al Sharpton, he's a pacifist. He doesn't believe in the Bible. Jesse Jackson doesn't believe in hurting someone that hurts him. He's not a man of God. Because this Bible says that the Jews hurt people that hurt them. They defended themselves. They weren't bullies, but they defended themselves. You understand? Keep going now.
Verse 3, and all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews.
They did what?
Help the Jews.
They did what?
Help the Jews.
Brother, when you serve the Most High God, and it's a precept to this, God will make even your enemies agree with you, be at peace with you. Like if you serve the Most High God, God will make your enemies be at peace with you. They won't harm you anymore. You think that the Chinese, they hate you and the Arabs hate you and they hate you. That's true. Brother, if you are the standard, if you behave the way the Bible told you to behave, the Arabs will respect you. They would fight for you. They would want to be like you. Everybody understand that? The Chinese wouldn't say, man, these is nothing but good for nothing Negroes and Hispanics and wetbacks. We could just use them. If you were the standard, if you follow this Bible, you would get the respect of the Chinese. You would get the oppressor's respect. You would get Esau's respect. He would say, well, damn, these people, listen, they are in a position of power. I don't want to mess with them for their God's sake. Not because they fear you, but because they fear our power, the Most High God, Yahweh in the Hebrew.
That's right.
They will fear him, man. And because of that fear they have of him, they're going to fear you. But what fear do they have of you if you get high and if you live an alternative lifestyle? You're no better than them. You're no different than them. Nah, man, not us. Not here, not now. Not when we're being persecuted. Nah, we're going to be what God told us to be, and now we're going to get the respect and the defense of the other nations. That's all you need is to serve God. Keep going now.
Verse 4, for
No. Help the Jews.
Help the Jews.
Go ahead.
Help the Jews because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
Why did they fear the Jews, Art?
Because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
Brother, these are the nations. They feared. The Bible says just now that, brother, they helped us because they feared the brother who was over us. Right. The righteous man. And that's what's so heavy. You got a son. This is what you better teach your young son. If you want power, which every man should strive to obtain, if you want power, you have to get close to the man that has power.
Right.
You want power now at this time, who do you get close to? Mordecai. Maradakya in the Hebrew. If you want power to be feared by men in other nations like Joshua had, Yahushai, what are you supposed to do? You have to do what? You got to get close to that man. Brother, I got close to Commander Juliana. I'll just follow and do whatever the hell he tells me to do. Why? Because I want to rule the Chinese and tell them what to eat when Christ returns.
Right.
I don't want COVID-19 on the earth anymore. To all my Chinese friends out there, I don't want COVID-19 to ruin and wreck your entire economy in Wuhan. I want you to eat the right thing. Well, guess what I'm going to do, man? I'm going to obey Command and General Yohana. So when Christ returns, I will be able to dictate what you can eat and what you can't eat. So the world doesn't have to suffer from the Wuhan COVID-19 virus.
Right.
So the earth doesn't have to suffer from swine flu. Nobody's going to eat swine when Christ returns. and I'm going to make sure of it.
That's right.
I want to enforce the laws when Christ returns. Rockefeller, white house shot. In order to do that, I can't have sex with whores.
Right.
I can't love white women. I can't have sex with nations outside of my race like Young Jeezy. I can't do things that are going to harm my nation like sell drugs. I can't smoke weed and swishers and pop pills. I can't leave my wife like some coward. I can't be a coward because that is a detriment to my nation. I have to do everything I can to make sure my nation rules just like Mordecai did, just like Mardochai did. And he made that sacrifice. He did it. You understand? He, what they say, paid the cost to be the boss.
God.
So now these other nations fear him. They fear him. They absolutely fear him. They fear him so much that instead of going to war against them, they're going to war with them.
Right.
They're unaliving the enemies of the nation of Israel on the behalf of Mordecai. That's power, Ak. That's power you've never seen before. That's power you can't even imagine now because you've never seen it. We've seen it at one time on this earth multiple times with Moses and Joshua and Mordecai and Judas Maccabees, a hardcore brother leading his people in righteousness. Keep going now.
Hadamakan. Verse 4. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces.
Skip me down to verse 5 real quick.
Verse 5. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them.
Read that again, Ak.
Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword.
Read that again, Ak.
Thus the Jews smote all their enemies.
Read that
with
again.
The stroke. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies.
We did what?
Smote all their enemies.
We cowed down and got high.
Smote all their enemies.
We bowed to that man Haman.
Smote all their enemies.
We worshiped the gods of our oppressor.
Smote all their enemies.
What did we do, Ak?
Smote all their enemies.
Barakatha Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. It took the actions of a righteous man for us to go and give justice to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. For us to get justice for Trayvon Martin. Now, you think Trayvon Martin's blood doesn't cry out to the Most High God? You think that the Most High God didn't hear you when you were a little girl and a little boy who lived a horrible, terrible life? He does hear you. He hears the prayers of the saints of the Israelites. He knows the trials and tribulations of his people. And guess what he's going to do? Read that part again, Ak.
Smote all their enemies.
Do what?
Smote all their enemies.
Brother, there's going to come a day, if we just be righteous and keep the Feast of Purim and not Christmas or Easter or Thanksgiving, brother, there's going to be a day when the Most High God will smote our enemies too.
That's right.
There's going to be a day when you're going to feel sorry for Donald Trump. Ooh, you're going to feel sorry. You're going to say, my God, I have so much compassion because I am over top of him. He picks my cotton the way my forefathers picked his cotton.
Right.
That's right.
You're going to feel sorry for your enemies and your oppressor one day after they are smote by the Most High God, after they get destroyed by the hands of the Most High God. All it takes is for you to be righteous. Right. All it takes is for you to have a little integrity. Isn't that right, brother? You just got to have some integrity. You just got to stop getting high and put the blunt down. Isn't that worth drug addiction? Isn't that worth stop quitting cigarettes and alcoholism? Isn't that worth it? Don't you want to see your enemies perish? Don't you want to see your kingdom rise? Aren't you tired of your oppressor's kingdom? Aren't you tired of Esau's kingdom or the Chinese kingdom or the Russians' kingdom or the Arabs' kingdom for all you Muslims? Don't you want a black and Hispanic and Native Indian kingdom full of fringes and righteousness and love and harmony and kindness and peace? You will never get it if you keep smoking weed. You're never going to get it if you keep having sex with whores. You won't get it if you don't keep the Feast of Purim and the Lord's Passover and Hanukkah. You understand? If you continue to keep Christmas, you will never see your kingdom. You keep Christmas, that means you love another nation's kingdom. That's another nation's God and another nation's holiday. How could you ever see your kingdom rise if you're a Christian? Christianity isn't your God. That's another nation's God, the God of your oppressor. How could you worship another God that isn't yours, but expect your God to reign and expect your God to rule and expect your God to heal your land and heal your people? It will never happen. Right. You have to serve your God. You have to serve his culture and his high holy days and do what he wants, not what the white man wants, not what the Arabs want, not what Muhammad wants. You better do what the Most High God wants, man. You better do what he asks you to do in the Bible, just like Mordecai or Mordecai and Esther did. Everybody understand? Keep going, bro. I can tell you how I was shot. Keep going on that. We're going to finish it up. Now we can go into the Feast of Purim. So now you want to go to verse 20.
Did you want me to finish that verse, though?
No. You go to verse 20. For time's sake, go to verse 20.
All right, verse 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. Mm-hmm. Both nigh and far.
Like, here's the thing, God. After Esther, which I apologize to the sisters, you understand, we didn't get to her hardcore story, but just briefly, for time's sake, Esther was a sister who was married to the king. You understand? Esther, not Mordecai wasn't her uncle, Elisha. They were cousins. You understand? They were cousins, but he did rear her. He raised her up in the truth. You understand? He raised her up in the being righteous. He raised her to be a righteous girl. Like, you got an older cousin that's 30 years older than you. He could be your daddy. I got cousins like that that's older than my father. You understand? Because that's just black families. Well, Esther was a Jew, and her cousin was Mordecai. And he raised her up to be a hardcore sister, like how Commander Juniana does you sisters in the UPK. That's right. And because of it, brother, she was able to convince the king to keep this Purim as a high holy day amongst all the provinces that he were over. Everybody understand? Like, that's the job of a black woman, to get in the bed with your husband and to convince him to be a righteous man. You know what sisters can do? Sisters who or don't have a husband or don't have a husband in the truth, you be a righteous woman and your husband will be a righteous man. That's what's going to happen. If you are a righteous sister, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a righteous brother. But you have to sacrifice and battle and go to war with the demon that's telling you to disrespect your husband. You have to go to war with the demon that's telling you to leave your husband. You have to be a righteous sister like Esther. Esther wasn't married to no righteous man. She was married to a horrible man. But what did she do? Did she give up on him? No. She said, well, sex is marriage. I have to stay with him. I can't leave him. So what am I going to do? Be an ugly, disgusting wife and be a bitch? That's not what Esther said. Esther went in there and convinced that husband of hers to justify her people because her husband had power. You sisters can do the same thing with your husband. You can convince your husband to be a righteous man by simply being a righteous woman. Right. Give Esther a hand, brother. We weren't able to read the scriptures on it, but that's the basics. That's Esther. She was righteous. You understand? And was able to convince only like a woman could do. Like Eve is it. That's the only thing that can convince a hardcore brother that's so hardcore to kind of lighten up a little bit. Like, baby, you being a little too hard. And she gonna go convince him if y'all catch my drift. A woman know how to convince a man. Moving on. And she was able to convince her husband, and not just the in the bedroom part, she was able to convince him with her actions. Imagine a wicked woman trying to tell you what to do. You're going to be like, I'm not listening to nothing you saying. I'm about to go have sex with another woman. I'm on my way. What did you say? Okay, come on. I'm about to get another woman. I'm on my way to the other woman's house because you're so evil. Now imagine a righteous sister. He's going to listen to everything she has to say, like Abraham did Sarah. That was Esther, brother, a righteous woman. And Mordecai, her cousin, was a righteous man. The two of them, they were unstoppable. That's all it takes. It takes a righteous brother and a righteous sister, and this nation gets built. Sisters get to see what a righteous woman looks like. Brothers get to see what a righteous man looks like. And now the nation gets built. That's us, That's now. That's in the ISUPK. Everybody understand? Close out with this, What you got, close out with it. This will be the last scripture, verse 21.
Esther chapter 9, verse 21. To establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly.
No, you go ahead, do. Elisha, finish it up. You two off the water for reading. Now, get a brother a hand for reading tonight. Elisha, read Esther chapter 9, verse 21.
Esther chapter 9, verse 21. To establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly. Verse 22. As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor.
That's the Feast of Purim. We're celebrating being champions and winners. Christmas, you celebrate what? Being poor. You can't get gifts for the kids, so what do you have to do, sis? You have to go and perform oral sex on a stranger for money to get gifts for the kids. That's not the Lord's day. This day here, we're celebrating being champions and warriors and soldiers and defeating our enemies under God. Defeating our enemies, man, under Mordecai, Mardakia, brother. That's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating hardcore men and women, brothers and sisters, blacks and Hispanics, who made a difference in their nation. That's what we're celebrating. Barakatha Yahweh Hawashah. That's the Feast of Purim. You understand? Now you understand. That's it. That's what we celebrate. Now you see all the food. You see the celebrations. You see the incense being lit and the garments on. It's a festival. It's an amazing occasion. Like everybody now getting ready for Easter. Brother, we got ready for the Feast of Purim.
That's right.
These hardcore brothers and sisters, give y'all selves a hand for showing up, showing out, providing the food, the supplies, everything we need to celebrate this high holy day, because it is a holy day. You understand? It's a holy convocation that we have to, Salakia, it's a memorial that we have to remember because of the hard work that two black men and women did to establish righteousness in our society. To establish not just righteousness, but to defeat the people that were trying to unalive us. To defeat the people who were harassing us, harassing you, harassing our mothers and fathers, unaliving them with the whip and the chain and the sword and the gun like the cops do us now. There was a black man and a black woman who were family, and they did what they had to do just so we don't suffer under that oppression anymore. That's the Feast of Purim. It's celebrating Esther and celebrating Mordecai. Everybody understand? With that, I majum. Everybody stand. Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh. Go ahead, clap it up. Most High Christ. All right. Now, which way is east? Is this way? God, Salakia. Yeah. All right. Let me get in the camera. Salakia. All right. There we go. Okay. Well, Panya Hakodon, which means to rise and face the east. So just me, I got to turn this way. All right, we're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
The Lord's, you want me?
Go ahead, start. Go ahead.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Real quick. Elisha, make sure you also give everybody time to respond.
Oh, kind of
repeat, all right?
All right, kind of. This is Sabbath. Okay, so like.
God.
That's my bad.
No, you too hard.
I am Lord.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Malakaka.
Gaba'ah. Ratazaka.
Hayah. Aisha.
Baharatazah.
Kawa.
Hayah. Bashamayim. Nathan Lakam. Cow. Yawam. Wasalak Lanawa. Wap now. Kasalak now. Wap now. Wala'ah. Dabaya now. Banasaya one. Abal. Hawashaya now. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Wahatapara. Walamyam. Aman.
In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Baba Kasha.
Baba Kusha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Hakat.
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 La Pa'a.
La Pa'a.
Kal Makala.
Kal Makala.
Wakal Marawa.
Wakal Marawa.
Hakat.
Hakat.
La Tahor.
La Tahor.
Hamatazariah.
Hamatazariah.
Hakat.
Hakat.
La Hakwiyah.
La Hakwiyah.
Hamathium.
Hamathium.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Awakawa.
Arakawa.
Hatama'ala.
Hatama'ala.
Garshan.
Garshan.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
The Wada Aman.
The water Aman in the English. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Give us the
The
power.
power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the
The
lepers.
power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the
The
dead.
power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasha'ala.
Wayasha'ala.
Waha.
Waha.
Bayat Saparium.
Bayat Saparium.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
The Wada Aman.
The water Aman. What we just said was Yahweh in the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahaharium.
Ahaharium.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Baharatazah.
Baharatazah.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Shawamar.
Shawamar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Al-Yad.
Al-Yad.
Yamyaka.
Yamyaka.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Balayala.
Balayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Yashamarka.
Bakal Rai.
Bakal Rai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Afnapashka.
Afnapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Tazaatka.
Tazaatka.
Wabaaka.
Wabaaka.
Aita.
Ma'aitha.
Wa'ai.
Wa'ai.
Awalam.
Awalam.
Aman.
Aman in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth
shall
Israel
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth
From this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al Damayah Laka.
Al Damayah Laka.
Al Fakarash.
Al Fakarash.
Wa Al Tashakwat.
Wa al Tashakwat.
Al.
Al
Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awayabiaka.
Awayabiaka.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Wamashanayaka.
Wamashanayaka.
Yasha'awa.
Yasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Ayahamaka.
Al-Amaka.
Rayayamwa.
Yarayamwa.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Wayatayai Tazawa.
Wayatayai Tazawa.
Altazap Pawanyaka.
Altazap Pawanyaka.
Amawa.
Amawa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakiram.
Wanakakiram.
Magoya.
Magoya.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yasakor.
Yazakor.
Sham Yashala.
Sham Yashala.
Aiwad.
Aiwad.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawa'ai Tazawa.
Nawa'ai Tazawa.
Lav.
Lav.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Bariyath.
Bariyath.
Yakarafwa.
Yakarathwa,
Ahoya,
Ahoya,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashamaoyam,
Wayashamaoyam,
Mawaaba,
Mawaaba,
Wahagoyam,
Wahagoyam,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawan,
Waimawan,
Waimalach,
Waimalach,
Palashak,
Palashak,
I'm Yeshabi,
I'm Yeshabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Gamashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zawad,
Zawad,
Banyalawat,
Banyalawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Lahum,
Lahum,
Kamadia,
Kamadia,
Kasayasa,
Kasayasara,
Kayabia,
Kayabia,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Wayashwan,
Wayashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa,
Bayanda,
Ba'ayanda,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La Dama,
La Adama,
Shayatama,
Shayathamwa,
Nadiyabmawa,
Nadayabmawa,
Kaira,
Kaira,
Wakazaba,
Wakazaba,
Wakazabat,
Wakazabat,
Wakazalmana,
Wakazalmana,
Kauna Saya Kamwa,
Kauna Saya Kamwa,
Ashor,
Ashor,
Amawa,
Amawa,
Nayarasha,
Nayarasha,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Kagagala,
Kagagala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanyaraka,
Lapanyaraka,
Kaash,
Kaash,
Kabaar Yair,
Kabaar Yair,
Kalahaba,
Wakalahaba,
Kalahat,
Kalahat,
Haryam,
Haryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Theradatma,
Theradatma,
Basaarka,
Basaarka,
Babasawapatka,
Babasawapafka,
Babahalom,
Thawahalum,
Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Panyahom,
Panyahom,
Kualawan,
Kualawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabawa,
Wayabahalwa,
Ayadai,
Ayadai,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Atha,
Atha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Baka,
Labaka,
Ow,
Ow,
Yawan,
Yawan,
Ow,
Ow,
Cow,
Cow,
Ratazah,
Ratazah,
Aman,
Aman, in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee
Have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
Against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
May be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal.
Gabal.
And Amalek. And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kasan.
At the brook of Kasan.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
And like Zer.
And like Zer.
Yea. All their princes.
All their princes.
As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And as Zamunah.
And as Zamunah.
Who said.
Said.
Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
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 Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
As the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
And perish.
And perish.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most
Most High.
art the Most High.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar, which means to turn. Men of Israel. Oh, Shamar, it's you.
Salakia. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. To the teacher, Salakia. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat. Imadim. Barak. Yahba Shimei Shabrakatah.
Yahba Shimei Shabrakatah.
Yashimitah. Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat. Imadim. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'Hashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Shamar El Athah B'Hashem Yahushai.
Yashimitah. Class dismissed.